Good morning. I'm Zach Gearhart, Director of Government Relations. Welcome to the weekly briefing. I want to apologize in advance. I'm one of the fortunate souls that has caught a summer cold. So if you sense any congestion or anything, that's not a reaction to the briefing, more a reaction to the Chicago O'Hare Airport. So let's go ahead and move into the news of the day. Wanted to talk a little bit about the city-county mill levy that WSU is fortunate enough to be a part of. What people don't usually realize is Wichita State, when it entered the state system in 1964, the legislature was pretty clear that it'd be a partnership between the city and ultimately the county, and part of that meant that they wanted the university to be supported by local property taxes. So we're fortunate as a university to enjoy that partnership in the form of a 1.5 mills property tax that Sedgwick County residents see on their property tax statement. That generates about $8 million annually. And we at the university, meeting with city and county officials who have bought into the mission and vision of Wichita State University, and when we work through their budget process, we've historically used about half of that for scholarship dollars for our students and the remaining half for infrastructure improvements to the university campus. Wanted to mention that because President Bardo, over the last week and a half or so, has been meeting with city council members, county commissioners, talking about what he sees the vision of Wichita State University being, talking about what we use the mill levy for. You'll be seeing that as part of the city and county budget approval processes for their respective budgets, that will come up as just part of a discussion item. So I wanted to mention that in the interest of just keeping you all informed about something that's really unique and special and that no other state university in Kansas has going for it. Wanted to talk about chemical engineering program that WSU is really going to be pushing for over the next year. In the 1950s, 60s, 70s, really, if you look at the data, a lot of the wealth in the United States was concentrated in manufacturing. Over time, what we've seen, especially in the 80s, the 90s, and now the 2000s, is a shift towards advanced manufacturing, a shift towards additive materials, a shift towards robotics and service sector industries. So I think the Wichita economy has been trying to find a place in this new 21st century economy. Blueprint for Regional Economic Growth, which was a partnership between Wichita State and several community leaders, was trying to identify programs that they thought would be something to grow the Kansas economy, to grow the Wichita metro area. So part of that was we really don't have an engineering program that focuses on materials, on petroleum, on natural gas, those types of things, which is, got a great engineering program at WSU. But this particular chemical engineering program, it's in the top 5 fastest growing programs in the country. And one of the interesting things about it, and I'm going to try not to butcher this, but of the people who enroll in that, it's the 4th highest percentage women in the program. So it kind of addresses something we talked a couple of weeks about getting more women interested in STEAM fields. At the Regents Retreat yesterday, the president was talking to the Board of Regents about this program, and we look forward to, when the legislature resumes its session, to talking about asking for $2 million to start this program at Wichita State. It would be a huge boost to the local economy. As I've mentioned, Bragg is made up of local industry leaders, and they think that there's a great potential to grow engineering in Wichita as a part of that. So wanted to mention that because it's probably something you're going to be seeing come January when the legislature starts its session. And as I'm sure you've all probably seen in local media, the new urgent care facility announcement on Wichita State's Innovation Campus. We're excited for this partnership between the YMCA and Wesley Healthcare. We think that this is a good answer to a lot of the gaps that we have on our campus. Not that this would ever replace our student health services in any way. Student health services is going to continue to do the things that they've always done, but it's going to enhance a lot of their existing services. So it's going to do things like x-rays. It's going to have different, more expanded hours. And we really look forward to having that here on our campus. But I did want to clarify just a couple of things we've kind of seen on social media, that this isn't designed to replace student health services. In fact, student health services is actually very excited about this partnership. There aren't any fee dollars that are being used to bring Wesley to campus, and there is no change to the student fee that was previously approved for the Wellness Center as part of this negotiation. So I just wanted to take an opportunity and just clarify some of those points. But again, really excited to have these partners on our campus, not just because It helps our local campus community. It does. It helps our faculty. It helps our staff, helps Innovation Campus employees. But also, if you think about the community surrounding the campus, all of those citizens are going to have access to this as well. Wanted to give you a quick housing update. As you know, we talked about this, I believe, a few weeks ago, maybe at one of my first briefings now that I think about it. And right now, reservations, we're at 1,308 reservations for campus for the fall semester. To put that in perspective, we were at 1,252 last year. So we're excited for some growth there. And just to break down that number a little bit more, of those coming, 941 are new reservations and 367 are returning students. They'll be moving in over the next few weeks. Starting next week, we look forward to the energy that brings to campus. It's always something special when you're an employee on campus and you see the students return in the fall and the energy that brings. And now I'll be back up to answer questions about the news of the day. And I wanted to introduce Karen Davis, Director, Pre-Award Services for the Office of Research, to talk about the exciting things happening in research. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to talk a little bit about research. We have some really exciting news to share today. Increasing research activity at WSU is critical to the strategic plan and mission to be internationally recognized as the model for applied learning and research. And I'm very pleased to let everybody know that today, actually the fiscal year 18, WSU set a new record for research with $104.5 million in awards. This is compared to last fiscal year, which was $90 million, and it's very significant because this is the first time in WSU's history that we have exceeded $100 million. Last year, we set a very ambitious goal to hit that mark, and it's really exciting that not only did we meet that mark, but we were able to exceed it. So lots of really exciting news with research. So we're going to talk a little bit about where our funding dollars come from. We saw significant increases in industry, state, and federal dollars. An additional $3 million came from both industry and federal sources, and our state funding almost doubled. WSU consistently ranks very high among all U.S. universities in industry-funded R&D. And as you can see, we received $47 million in industry-related funds this year. In fiscal year 18, we received $9.9 million from the Kansas Department of Commerce for multi-company collaborative aviation research, which is aimed at growing the Kansas economy. We received $4.7 million from the Federal Aviation Administration, and we received nearly $12.1 million from the Department of Defense. The National Institute for Aviation Research is our biggest center on campus, and it brings in a significant amount of Wichita State's R&D funding. NIAR jumped $8.3 million in awards for fiscal year 18, which is very significant, bringing their number to $69.3 million in awards. They received $5 million from the U.S. Air Force Research Laboratory for research programs to develop techniques to enhance advanced material characterization and structural certification, aided by high-fidelity damage modeling and efficient protocols for substantiation of advanced composite structures, service life assessment, and service life extension. In addition, they also received $4 million from the U.S. Navy to support research infrastructure and to achieve these goals. In addition to NIAR, the university saw growth across many colleges, several of our colleges, departments, and centers. The Division of Diversity and Community Engagement is one of those areas that experienced some significant growth in fiscal year 18. This division houses the Gear Up program, the TRIO program, and the Public Policy and Management Center. In fiscal year 18, we did add 2 new Gear Up programs, which brought the total awards for this division to $10.1 million. These are important programs that are funded by the Department of Education and are designed to identify and provide services for low-income and disadvantaged middle and high school students to prepare them for college. Both the College of Engineering and the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences also increased their total awards by more than $1 million each, and WSU did also add a new center called the Firepoint Innovation Center at Wichita State They were awarded a $1.9 million grant by the U.S. Army Aviation and Missile Research, Development, and Engineering Center to aid in solving technology and equipment challenges and to accelerate the delivery of innovation capabilities. There is so much exciting research going on at WSU, and it's hard to just pick a few to highlight in this presentation, but we wanted to give you a few examples of the type of projects that have been going on at WSU this past year. So in the College of Engineering, Dr. Shuang Gu in Mechanical Engineering received an award from the Department of Energy for $855,000. Dr. Gu's research involves a transformative alkaline-based solution to the challenging problem of renewable yet affordable liquid fuel production. In the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, Dr. George Bousfield in Biology received $1.8 million from the National Institutes of Health. This grant is expected to span several years and will exceed $10 million for WSU. Dr. Bousfield's research is to help diagnose the onset of the menopausal transition and investigate the causes of bone loss in aging women. Also from the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, we have Dr. Katie Mitchell-Koch in chemistry. She received 2 grants from the National Science Foundation totaling $544,000 for research involving biomolecular modeling and training for student researchers with diverse backgrounds. These and other programs at WSU provide opportunities for faculty, staff, and students to engage in basic and applied research, creating opportunities for applied learning, interdisciplinary collaboration, and new technology development. Due to our talented and innovative faculty here at WSU and the dedicated Office of Research team, WSU continues to submit strong proposals to funding agencies. We are looking forward to seeing continued growth in funded research and hope to have more exciting award announcements in the near future to share. I am happy to take any questions revolving research. Okay, I'm going to turn it back over to Zach. Thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Karen, for all the information about the exciting things happening in research. I'll go ahead and at this time just open it up to questions about anything else news of the day on the university campus that anyone might have. All right. Well, as always, we appreciate having you here, and we look forward to doing these next week. Thank you all for coming.